You're not lazy because you dread doing the hard task. You just haven't trained your brain to actually crave doing them. As a peak performance coach to 6, 7, and 8 figure entrepreneurs, I have seen how even the highest IQ, most talented entrepreneurs can self sabotage themselves when they don't have the mental capacity to actually handle the hard task. In this video, I'm going to show you a proven scientific protocol that will help you build the ability to consistently outwork everyone else while doing things they don't even attempt on doing. This is one of the biggest edges you can have in business because you're not 10,000 hours away. You're 10,000 iterations away of your thing you want. And if you can't iterate faster than anyone else by consistently doing things they don't want to do, you will wait. Welcome back. My name is Castillo, founder of Selfmastered, Peak Performance Institute for Entrepreneurs. And the first step is to understand how does your brain work, and specifically, how can you direct your brain to rewire itself in the direction you need. The technical term for this is called self-directed neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself to strengthen new neural connections depending on what you task it on doing. So in essence, you are born with a brain and a nervous system that is destined to change. You can change who you are by specifically changing the physical structure of the brain. It all boils down by consistently choosing to do hard things and cognitively reframing them and changing the meaning associated with those hard things as something that is desirable. And that what this does over time is that it makes it easier for you to do hard tasks because you are consistently doing them on a regular basis. So the brain rewires itself to help you do them in the future, but also you are changing the meaning that you are associated with that hard work. And that is one of the secret edges of elite performers. Not only they're able to consistently do the hard things, but they even learn to enjoy them. They have rewired a part of the brain that associated a bad meaning with hard tasks, and now they have associated a positive meaning. And this is what absolutely will help you become so much more effective when doing the hard tasks. The more you practice this, the better you will become. But there's a way to speed this up. And this is by training your brain to secrete something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF for short. And this typically gets secreted when you take exercise and overall rest and recovery seriously. When you give your brain the ability to rest after intense cognitive loads. And the best way to do this is to have rest and recovery protocols within your workday, embedded. I do them every 90 minutes and have a consistent exercise routine going for you, paired with good sleep and good nutrition. That will prime your brain to secrete that protein BDNF that will help accelerate neuroplasticity. What you want is to consistently get better at the things that others don't want to get better at, and do so without overtaxing your brain, without leading to mental burnout. And learning how to secrete BDNF is one of the best ways of doing this. And if you do this, it will work. This is all you need, but it is a slow process. It will take months. There's a way to accelerate your results quickly. And that thing is training your anterior mid-cingulate cortex, AMCC for short. So it turns out in the past 10 years, the recent neuroscience of willpower tells us that there's an area in the brain that grows larger every time we engage in what is called micro adversity or micro sucks, things we don't want to do. Every time we consistently do something we don't want to do, not something that is necessarily hard, and we have associated a positive meaning to it because then we're not training the AMCC, something that we absolutely know for a fact that sucks, like fasting or dieting or training for a marathon or whatever it is that forces you to do stuff you don't want to do, that trains that area of the brain called the AMCC that is now considered the seat of willpower. So the strategy is to do things absolutely suck just for the sake of practice. And that is a quote by William James, which is the father of American psychology. So the way to enhance your neuroplasticity is precisely by training your MAMCC on the things you absolutely don't want to do. This is a bit like building muscle. The more you do it, the better you become at it. But once you start liking the things that previously you disliked, then it stops working. Imagine you develop a craving for cold showers. I mean, nobody does that, but imagine you do. Well, then cold showers will not be training your AMCC anymore. You have to consistently be doing things that actually suck. And in my understanding, most entrepreneurs that quit things mid-through and they cannot persevere and they cannot attempt a hard task, they're not lazy or motivated. They just have an underdeveloped AMCC. So the faster you develop the AMCC, the easier you become the person you need to be in order to scale your business to where you want it to be. But it all takes practice and it takes conscientious effort. And it can be overwhelming unless you use a strategy that makes it fun, that makes it all worth it, that prevents you from burning out because you don't see the point of going through all of those ordeals. That strategy is called gamification, which is using game-like elements like rewards, like quests, like challenges to motivate yourself to consistently work on those hard things. If you are able to associate a specific score to every hard task, and you can create a quest or a challenge in which those hard tasks that you wouldn't otherwise attempt have a meaning because it leads to a specific milestone that makes sense for you in business, you are gamifying the process. Research has proven that it's insanely effective at making you consistent at that thing. Regularly achieving small wins and having a score or a scorecard will secrete dopamine. So you will start associating the chase of dopamine with a hard task, further sedimenting in your brain the idea that the harder you work, the better your results and the more fun the overall experience is. Now, how do I specifically do it and how do I teach my clients how to do it? In essence, we create 90-minute work session in which we track two specific KPIs. KPI number one is the intrinsic leverage of every task. From $1 sign, those tasks that are not important at all, to $4 signs, those are absolutely crucial to building our business. The higher the leverage of the task, the higher our final score of the day. But we also have a second KPI, which is the amount of focus that we put into the task. How good are we at staying focused without getting distracted? And every time we complete the 90-minute work session without ever getting distracted, that is 100% score on the focus KPI. And this is how you create a specific performance scorecard for your day, depending on the intrinsic leverage of the task that you do and how much focus you can bring to the table. And over time, the only thing you got to do, this is what I teach our clients, is to track your score, is to see how well you consistently perform. Over time, you gravitate towards high leverage tasks. You start only working on what is absolutely fundamental for your business and nothing else. You become distraction proof and you're able to get more done every single week. And this is how you can gamify the whole process of learning how to crave the hard things. It's not magic, it's a skill like everything else, and anyone can learn it. So as a recap, in essence, we have to engage in what is called self-directed neuroplasticity, which is our own willingness to create the necessary conditions for the brain to rewire itself to do the hard things, but also associate a positive meaning with those hard things. So over time, we came out to love doing the hard things. But this can be a little bit slow. So the first strategy to speed things up is to rest, recover, and take care of our overall health through perfect nutrition, exercise, and sleep in order to secrete higher levels of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is a core protein that is part of the neuroplasticity process. But also, if you want to really move the process faster and really become very, very good at this quickly, we can also train our anterior mid-cingulate cortex through doing things that absolutely suck, things that we cannot associate a positive meaning towards it. Because if we do, then they stop sucking and it stop working in training the EMCC. And the typical example, this could be a cold shower, but it can be training for a marathon. It can be doing things outside of your comfort zone that you absolutely don't want to do, that absolutely suck, but you know for a fact are building a very strong brain. And finally, the only way of not burning out throughout this process is to gamify the whole experience, to assign yourself rewards and design challenges that you can go after that actually provide a kind of framework for making it fun and enjoyable. If you want our help in how to do this and transform your daily work into an absolute fun challenge, and you cannot help but win at this game of business, book a call with us and we will help you design it. But until then, check this video where we go 3 levels deeper onto how to specifically become an elite performer through scientific performance protocol. See you in the next video.